Hey everybody, I'm Nate. I got Reggie with me as well. We'd like to welcome you to Georgia Aquarium for another installment of Field Trip Fridays. So it's not just Georgia Aquarium, but it's many different institutions across the city of Atlanta, museums and different attractions that are trying to put together some educational content while everybody's at home. So you'll notice I've got my PPE, my personal protective equipment, got my mask, got my gloves, and Reggie and I are pretty far apart right here. So we're doing our part to limit the spread of this virus. But today we're gonna show you some pretty fantastic animals that we have in a brand new, recently renovated exhibit. Here in River Scout, we have a new exhibit called Gator Crossing, and it's home to a pretty spectacular collection of American alligators. And you'll see one of them's coming over to me right now. They don't look like a standard American alligator. These guys are stark white. And that's because they are true albino alligators. So they have a genetic mutation that prevents them from producing any pigment at all. So that's why they are stark white like this. Those of you guys who have seen alligators in the wild, whether you're playing golf somewhere near the coast or the coastal plain in the southeast, or you're at a wildlife refuge and you see gators, they don't look like this. That's because any alligator hatched in a wild habitat that is stark white will not last very long. They stand out like sore thumbs to predators and don't make it past the first few days of life. So these guys were lucky enough to be hatched in the safe environs at an alligator farm. So they were raised in safety, free from predators. And they made their way to Atlanta via our friends down in St. Augustine at the Alligator Farm Zoological Park in St. Augustine. So we're happy to have them. They are really spectacular animals, really great ambassadors for one of the most iconic North American reptiles. So Reggie's down on our collapsed dock in this bayou environment that we have here, and he's getting ready to show you how these guys feed. So he's got some trout, it looks like, small pieces of fish, and he's gonna offer these trout to these alligators. You'll notice that they know exactly what time it is, lunchtime, and they're going after these fish pretty readily. So these alligators are about 4 feet long, so they have lots and lots of room to grow. American alligators at adulthood, especially the males, can be 13, 14 feet long and weigh more than 500 pounds. So they become a really massive, impressive beast at adulthood. So these guys are still pretty small. These may weigh, 20, 25 pounds. It is important that we keep track of their size, because the amount of food that Reggie's going to offer them is dependent on how much they weigh. We feed a percentage of their body weight. So in the wild, there's often a pecking order. Dominant animals usually get to eat before subordinate animals, but here these two guys are getting along really well, and you can see that they might tussle over a piece of fish here and there, but they're happy in this new habitat that we've built for them. American alligators have an interesting story. In the early 1970s, they almost went extinct due to overharvesting and habitat destruction. But really through a pretty remarkable law that was passed called the Endangered Species Act, they were allowed to be protected and recover over the last 30 or 40 years, and now they are abundant. There are millions of alligators all the way across the southeast, from eastern North Carolina to the coastal plain of Texas. So a pretty amazing success story for conservation in North America. So make sure that you guys check out all of the other attractions and museums and institutions in Atlanta that are participating in Field Trip Fridays through an effort that we're calling atlmuseumsathome.org. There's going to be a lot of great content just like these alligators, because there's lots of great work going on even as most of us are stuck at home. All these animals and all these facilities have to keep rolling forward. So we're excited to be able to bring you a little behind the scenes look at what we do on a day-to-day basis here at Georgia Aquarium. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day and stay safe.